Have you ever wondered how one's passion can lead to the most unexpected and shocking outcomes? Today, we dive into the extraordinary and tragic tale of Elliot Senseman, a passionate snake rescuer who faced an unimaginable fate on a fateful day. Elliot Senseman loved snakes and dedicated himself to rescuing and rehabilitating them. Ironically, he met a tragic end due to a terrible incident. Elliot was well versed in handling snakes, not just the small ones but also the big ones like pythons and boa constrictors. On July 20th, 2022, while he was going about his usual routine of feeding his snakes, he had no clue what was about to unfold. He was particularly cautious around one snake, an 18-foot-long boa constrictor. This snake had a more aggressive nature compared to the others. Unfortunately, a single mistake with an enraged reptile like that can lead to a fatal outcome. Boa constrictors and pythons are both large snakes known for their constricting abilities, which can be deadly. It's important to note that there's a significant difference between pythons and boa constrictors. While many large snakes are constrictors, both can be dangerous. Pythons can exert about 14 pounds of pressure per square inch, which is enough to be lethal to a human. On the other hand, boa constrictors can exert up to 25 psi, making them even more powerful. Elliot dedicated his life to rescuing injured and mistreated snakes. His passion for snakes began when he was just 10 years old, and for the last few years, he's been actively involved in snake rescue efforts. Even though many found snakes slimy and creepy, Elliot saw their beauty and was committed to finding them new homes. Boa constrictors are smaller than pythons, even though they are known as the world's longest snakes. Surprisingly, boas can be deadlier than pythons. Fatal attacks by boas are extremely rare in the US, whereas pythons have been responsible for more fatalities. In the Everglades of Florida, Burmese pythons have become invasive, leading to the US government organizing a python challenge in 2022 to control their population. For Elliot, the size of the snakes didn't matter. He had experienced handling 15-footers. On the day of the tragic incident, Elliot went about his usual routine, which included the 18-foot-long boa constrictor that ultimately killed him. He also had two other rescued snakes. The boa constrictor that attacked Elliot had a troubled past of abuse and malnourishment. They didn't settle well with him, and he always appeared aggressive. Despite his experience, Elliot always was cautious with a snake, but a family member noticed that it was behaving oddly that day. Heather, Elliot's mother, emphasized that he would never handle that snake alone and took all necessary precautions. Elliot was simply checking the snake's enclosure when the deadly attack happened. Elliot might not have suspected anything because he attributed the snake's strange behavior to its past mistreatment. He believed it needed more time to recover and regain trust in humans. The routine of cleaning and feeding his snakes may have led him to overlook the boa constrictor's unusual conduct. Rescued snakes often behave abnormally, and Elliot's family members were trained to respond correctly because their house had the necessary equipment. Unfortunately, Elliot had little chance when he opened the boa's cage, as the snake lunged at him, coiling around his body and neck within seconds. It began tightening his grip, and Elliot found himself contemplating his last few moments on Earth, his life flashing before his eyes. His grandmother walked in on this horrifying scene and was deeply shocked. She screamed for help but quickly dialed 911. When officers from the Upper Macungie Township Police Department received the distress call, they rushed to the Senseman residence. They found Elliot lying unconscious on the floor there, with a large snake coiled around his neck. The officers faced a dilemma because the reptile was over 15 feet long and they couldn't risk injuring Elliot by shooting the snake in the head. Eventually, they shot the snake multiple times in the lower body, causing it to release the grip. This allowed the officers to remove the snake from Elliot. Elliot was immediately taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital in Cedar Crest, where doctors tried their best to save him. He spent 4 days in critical care, but sadly, he did not respond to treatment. On July 24th, 4 days after the incident, Elliot passed away. The doctors attributed his death to severe brain damage caused by asphyxiation from the constriction of the boa constrictor. If you found this story as captivating and heart-wrenching as we did, please don't forget to hit that notification bell and subscribe to our channel. It's stories like these that remind us of the incredible and often unpredictable twists life can take. Thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned for more incredible tales that will leave you on the edge of your seat.